Yo, what's up? What's up? Come on in. Huddle up. Huddle up, y'all. Come on in. Welcome. I'm Neil, your reapproach coach. We're here with another huddle. If this is your first huddle, I just want to go over a couple of norms. We at least review one norm before we get the huddle started. Today, the norm is honesty. Let's just be honest. All right. And we're talking about being honest with yourself first and above all. All right. So before we even get into what we're going to talk about today, honesty is our norm for the day. All right. So we're going to be honest with ourselves. And of course, we always want to follow up with a feelings check. As I always like to remind us, our days can get so busy sometimes. As leaders, whether we lead in schools, leading our own businesses, leading our families, leading ourselves, just leading, period, it could get very busy. And so we oftentimes don't get a chance to sit back and ask ourselves how we feeling. So I'm gonna go ahead and put the mood meter up, check the mood meter out if you're not sure how you're feeling right now. And as always, you can feel free to go ahead and add how you feel into the comments if you want, or you can just keep it within. But it's important to just kind of do that, have that mindful moment to check in with yourself. All right. So let's just pause and check in with ourselves. All right. Now our connection question. Our connection before content. We always like to before we get into the content, it's good to just kind of connect the room, connect the space. And so wherever you might be, we're going to connect with each other by answering this question. When did leadership start feeling heavy for you? Just think about it. Again, you're free to add into the comments if you want, or you can just reflect inward. But when did leadership start feeling heavy for you? And why do you think it started to feel heavy? Why do you think leadership feels heavier now than it used to? Because maybe it didn't feel heavy all the time. I know for me, there have been times where leadership has felt heavier than other times. So the question is, what is the thing that has shifted? What's the thing that is making it feel a little more heavier than it once did? Let me introduce a couple of thoughts. Are you carrying something that maybe isn't yours to carry? Could be, could be. At what point did carrying turn into over carrying? Where my over carriers at? Right? You taking on more than you ought to, right? The folks that have a hard time delegating. That was a big one for me. Big one for me was delegation when I first stepped into leadership. Why? Because I started feeling like, why would I give somebody something that I could do? Why would I ask somebody to do something that I know I could do? And one of the biggest lessons that I learned and that was taught to me was that you got to delegate the things that other people can do so you can do the things that they can't do. You got to give some stuff to other people that you know you can do and that they can do so that it frees you up to do the things that they can't do. Because the people that you're leading, they can't do everything that you do. There's certain things, there's certain tasks, there's certain responsibilities, there's certain phone calls, there's certain meetings, there's certain reports that have to be done just by you alone. And the folks that you're helping to lead, they can't do those things. But I struggled with that because my thing would be like, well, man, this is an easy task. Let me just go ahead and knock this out. I'm not gonna get that to somebody else. I should be able to do that. Especially when you have risen within the ranks of the people that you're leading, if that makes sense. When that's a whole nother huddle. Maybe we'll huddle up about that at another time. But delegation was a big one for me. Big one. I really had to work through that. Delegation. Sometimes we are not carrying, the wrong thing. We end up carrying alone. And that's when burnout starts to set in. We're not burnt out because we don't care. We're burnt out because we're carrying things alone. And that goes for, again, business owners, school leaders, team leads, corporate leaders, you're carrying things alone. It's not that you don't care. It's not that you don't have the ability to carry. It's just that you might be carrying too much. Let me just pause for a second. Let that marinate for a minute. If any of this is resonating with you, I always welcome conversation in the comments. But if not, you could always just reflect on your own. The last thing I'll leave is this, and we're not going to fix all this tonight. This is just about you noticing and being aware of what's going on with you as a leader. Again, the goal is not to solve this problem tonight. It's just to get you thinking. It's just to get us really aware. Because before we can solve anything, we got to be aware. All right. We got to be aware. All right. Is anything standing out for you? When you think about that burnout, you're thinking about, man, what am I carrying? Sometimes, it's just, we just carrying things wrong. It's okay to ask for help as a leader. It's okay to delegate as a leader. You got to delegate. You have to. That's why you got a team. Trust the people on your team. Why you not delegating? That's the question. Why aren't you delegating? What's going on inside of you? What's going on inside of here? Or what's going on outside the team? You don't have nobody you could trust on your team that you could delegate to. You got people that want to help you. People be asking to help you, and you say, "No, I got it," because they can see that you overloaded. They can see that you are you carrying too much. Find somebody you can trust and delegate to. All right, that's your homework. That's your homework. Now I'm giving y'all got me giving homework out. All right, let's go ahead and land this plane. Think about those things that think about those questions. Tap back in. Let's keep the conversation going. But we gotta really get to the bottom of some of these things that because we losing good leaders. Good leaders are burning out and they leaving. You ever think about leaving? Where you at right now? Yeah. You ever think about just hanging it up? You ever think about just folding the business up? You ever think about just leaving them kids? I'm out, man. Get them kids out of here. I'm done. All right, y'all. Listen, I'm the reapproach coach. I'll catch y'all at the next huddle.